All right, Raider Nation, here's the deal. Davante Adams is going to be traded by week 9, and here's why. Okay, maybe he won't. We're going to jump into a few things in the controversy that's been happening with Davante Adams, and I know a lot of people have been talking about it, and this dead horse has been beaten to death 10 times over. But I want to just point out a few things of note that the Raiders and the Raider Nation need to keep in mind. And it's simply this. Davante Adams came out and completely trashed Deshaun Jackson in his statements of saying that, according to the conversations that he's had with Davante Adams is not happy with the Las Vegas Raiders. Davante Adams comes out after a while and basically throws Deshaun Jackson under the bus, saying he's never talked to him about it, blah, 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 blah. And now Deshaun Jackson's credibility in the media has been completely destroyed. Will that destroy his media career? That remains to be seen. However, there are a few things that we really need to focus on when it comes to Davante Adams and his future with the Raiders. Number one, none of us can forget the receiver documentary by Netflix, which was partly produced by Patrick Mahomes, which is a bit embarrassing. But nonetheless, in that series, Davante Adams is clearly mic'd up on the sideline saying, I gotta get the F out of here before I lose my effing life. Okay, now that was under Jimmy Garoppolo and Josh McDaniels. So those two guys are now gone. Is Davante Adams over it? Well, here's a few things that we need to take into consideration. Number one, he's never said he loves playing with Gardner Minshew. In fact, in interviews, he has repeatedly said that AOC is his guy. AOC is his little brother. AOC, AOC, AOC. When he talks about Gardner Minshew, it's almost an afterthought. So is he excited to play with Gardner Minshew? Is he worried about the hospital balls that Gardner Minshew is known for throwing up? And the inconsistency that Gardner Minshew can be the feast or famine Gardner Minshew? Is he happy about that? Well, I can't see that he would be happy about that. I don't see why he would be happy to be playing with Gardner Minshew, because he's yet to proven that he can play up to a level of a Patrick Mahomes, which is what, everybody is saying that the Raiders need. We need our own Patrick Mahomes. We need our own Aaron Rodgers. And would he be happier playing with Aaron Rodgers? Davante Adams said that if you don't hear it from the horse's mouth, it's probably BS. Well, Davante, we literally heard it from your mouth. You literally said that you got to get the F out of here before you lose your effing life. And you have never said since then that you're so excited to be here and so happy to be here. And we have such a great quarterback and it's going to be a fantastic season. You've never said anything like that. It's always kind of cryptic with you. And yes, I know you like to troll, but the Raider Nation is sitting here scratching our heads thinking, Davante, are you actually happy with the Raiders situation? And again, I go back to, I don't think he is, and I don't see why he would be, because our quarterback situation right now is very questionable as to how consistent it's going to be. And consistency, guys, is the key. Now, listen, don't shoot all your bullets at me. Shoot them all at Davante Adams, because he's the one not coming out and saying that he's super excited to be with the Raiders. He's super excited for the 2024 NFL season, that we have a fantastic offense up and running. Now, there are a few key differences that you also have to take into consideration when it comes to Davante Adams' happiness with the Las Vegas Raiders, conversely against or up against last year when he was under McDaniels and Jimmy G. And that being, it was McDaniels and Jimmy G, and now we have AP and Luke Getsy, two guys that Davante Adams absolutely loves, respects, and cannot wait to play for. The problem keeps coming back to one situation and one situation only. Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew was clearly not Davante Adams' choice, but he didn't have the ultimate say. That was Coach Antonio Pierce. And Coach Antonio Pierce apparently took an awful lot of direction from his offensive coordinator and general manager. And that's why they went in the move of Gardner Minshew. And now Davante Adams could be a trade candidate. Now, according to PFF, Davante Adams is not happy with the quarterback situation. However, the Raiders, AP, and Tom Telesco, Luke Getsy, they probably all went to him and said, listen, we understand that you're going to be a 32-year-old superstar wide receiver in the NFL, and your gas level is quickly approaching empty. If we are not in a winning situation by week 9, we will trade you wherever you want to go. We will take care of you. But for now, you have to crush this Deshaun Jackson story. This controversy could affect the locker room, could affect outcomes, as well as affect Coach Antonio Pierce's potential longevity as the head coach of the Raiders. So I'm sure they went to him. They had to have gone to him and said, listen, you got to get out there and make a statement. You have to crush this controversy right now, because if you don't, it's going to hurt the Raiders. And right now, you're with the Raiders. And right now, you've got to give us a shot. Let us get out there and prove that we can be competitive and that we can win games and that we can make a playoff run with you, because we are better with Davante Adams than without him. That is a no-brainer. There is no discussion there. There is no universe where the Raiders are better off without Davante Adams as of right now. And if you disagree, drop a comment. Let me know why. Explain your theory. Write a thesis in the comment section and tell me how you think that the Raiders are better off without Davante Adams as it stands right now in 2024. We're not talking about next year. We're not talking about his contract and how much money he makes and everything else. Just athletically, as a potent offensive weapon for the Las Vegas Raiders, there is no one better than Davante Adams out there on the field. Jakobi Meyers is fantastic, but he is not Davante Adams. Jakobi Meyers does not require the double teams that Davante Adams does, because if you do not double team Davante Adams, he will burn you and take it to the house every single time, and that is the threat of Davante Adams. Jakobi, Swiss Army knife of a wide receiver, fantastic wide receiver number 2, and could probably be a great number 1, but not Davante Adams. So the Raiders are better off with him right now. They went to him and said, listen, we can win with you. It's going to be harder to win without you. Please go out there and make this statement and crush what Deshaun Jackson said. And he obliged. He went out there and said it. But you know what he didn't say? He didn't outright say, I never told Deshaun Jackson that. He made a roundabout comment of, I've only spoken to him 3 or 4 times, and if it's not from the horse's mouth, it's probably BS, and I really only tell my true feelings to my wife, and she's not out there telling people. He didn't just come out and then another thing, hey, if I wasn't happy, I wouldn't be here. These are all roundabout statements. I think there may be some truth to it, and he's a little PO'd that Deshaun Jackson put him on blast. And so he put Deshaun Jackson on blast for doing that. Now, there's a lot of people saying Davante Adams is lying about this and that he really did tell Deshaun Jackson this. Look, we don't know the full story of that. Maybe he gave a little tone in a conversation with Deshaun Jackson about his uneasiness and unhappiness. Plus, Deshaun Jackson never said when this conversation happened. Maybe it was during the Jimmy G and McDaniels era. Either way, it doesn't matter. Here's what matters. The Raiders are better off with Davante Adams as a player on the team, as a potent offensive weapon as of right now. If the Raiders are 1-8 come week 9, you will see Davante Adams getting traded to the Jets and reuniting with his boy Aaron Rodgers, because I'm sure if Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy, they are going to be in the playoff hunt, and the Raiders will be looking for their next future star wide receiver in the draft coming up in the future. But if the Raiders are in a winning record and making a playoff run by week 9, it's already looking like we're going to make the playoffs and make a run, he will not be traded. And that's all I got to say. If you disagree, drop a comment down below.